Hello. It's your friendly neighborhood methods instructor, and I want to blur my background so you guys don't see everything. Hi. This is a video I wanted to make for you all because I just have the intuition that y'all might be freaking out about your digital unit plan. So I wanted to show you some shortcuts and hopefully bring your effective level down. And this kind of grew out of last Monday. I stayed late and worked with a peer of yours, and I demonstrated how you could use ChatGPT to help you lesson plan. And then it dawned on me that I should really make a video and show this to all of you so that either you can finish up the work and we can actually, on this Monday coming up, we can actually get to the teaching part, have some fun doing it, and not feel overwhelmed with the project. I know some of you are, you just got done with your TPA because that was due on the 5th, which was Thursday. And so you're kind of diving into the DUP and the lesson plan. And I want to make sure that you, first of all, it's okay to use ChatGPT or AI to help you populate the work. The main goal is for you to see the components of lessons and to be able to lesson the whole unit together as a team in your subject matter. So what I'm going to do is use the apple in the dark or the apple in the light activity we did at the beginning of the semester to walk you through most of the things that you've gone through already. But I want you to see how I'm using it, and maybe you can double check your work if you're almost done with the project, or you can get unstuck if you're stuck in the project. That's what I'm hoping. And bring your effective level down and increase the amount of paying attention to how these tools, lesson planning and unit planning, are interconnected, and how going deeper with the NGSS is most important for kids' cognition around science and science disciplinary literacy than um, the perfecting of being able to lesson plan, if that makes sense. Anyway, let me get started. I'm going to share my screen. And what I'm going to start with is the immersion activity. So I wanted to jog your memory with this. So if you can see, this was the apple in the dark where we made our posters. What do you see? Imagine you're sitting at a table and there's an apple. Then you're going to make an if-then statement, basically a prediction or a hypothesis. Um, then we discussed how we were going to present our model. You're going to develop the initial model, which you did. Um, this is basically just the activity that we did at the beginning of the semester. We took a break and then we had an extension where you learned about cones and rods and lights and absorption and transmission and all that good stuff. We modified our model, we recapped, then you made an argument. So this basically, we came up with a class claim. I introduced the 5 E's. We have points to ponder. And so that was the apple in the dark activity. Now what I want you to notice is that I made a mini crosswalk from that experience. If you can see here, the experience of building the model in the apple in the light was a first grade physical science standard 4 performance expectation 2, right? So basically, you were supposed to draw a model to figure out how we see things. And that's what you did. What I want to point out is that these other 2 lessons here are hypothetical. You did not engage in this, but I wanted you to see the apple and the light crosswalk here. So the objects, what we learned was that the objects can only be seen when illuminated by the light source. Now I keep saying that whatever the product is for the first lesson, it has to be related to the next lesson, right? So you drew this model. So the next standard is about how different materials affect light. And we're looking for transparency, absorption, and reflection, which was introduced in the first lesson, but it wasn't the main point of the first lesson. So now we get to extend that understanding for the second lesson. So we can only see things that are illuminated. Now the materials that make up the object affect light's property. So that's the second lesson. So here I have, they're going to do an investigation. They're going to revisit their model from lesson one, and then they're going to refine their best fit argument that they made from the first lesson. So you see how the two lessons are related. They got to use information from the first the to complete the lesson for the second lesson. Then once you have that, light interacts with materials and has properties, and that affects what we can see. So the next performance expectation talks about how to design a tool to communicate using light. So this hypothetical lesson would have engaged kids using materials to make tools to communicate with, design a second model. So we're still model building, and they're brainstorming, they're prototyping, they're incorporating their understanding, and how to use what they're gaining from this is how to use the properties of light and illumination can be used to make a device to facilitate communication. So this is a hypothetical unit based on the apple and the light activity. Now, I'm making a point to emphasize that each one of these lessons is built around an epistemic practice. The first one's modeling. The second one is investigation and modeling. And the third one is a model again. So, like I said before, your epistemic practices help you make your learning objectives. So down here, let's see if I can make it a little bigger. I'm using my epistemic practices to make the lesson objectives for this hypothetical unit plan. So using a model, students will demonstrate their understanding that objects can only be seen when illuminated by a light source. The lesson number one assessment is that students completed a cause and effect statement on how light allows you to see objects and then refine their models based on a class discussion. That's exactly what you did. That was the assessment. So the second objective is students will investigate how shining light through different materials observe and materials they will observe and explain how light properties affect what we see. And then the assessment is the group presents their refined models and explain how light properties affect what we can see. Lesson number three, students will design a tool to communicate using light. The assessment, students evaluate each other's devices using rubrics that focus on scientific reasoning, creativity, and functionality. So there you have it. So what I want you to see now is that I have my crosswalk, I have my objectives, I have my assessments. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up my ChatGPT. I'm going to bring it over here so you can see it. And I'm going to say, please populate I'm going to say 6A DUP because that's what it's titled. When you download it from either the announcement I'm about to make when I'm done recording, or you can download it in the it's in Google Classroom as well. Please populate my 6A DUP using the Apple in the Dark uh, immersion No, crosswalk. I think I named it the crosswalk. So get this. I'm going to go here. I'm going to upload both of those. Here's the DUP. Where's my apple in the dark? And my apple in the dark crosswalk. Hope you're seeing this. Bam. And there you have it. So I took my crosswalk, I uploaded my DUP, and it populated it. And what I want you to see here is that I want you to review the DUP entries. So are your science and engineering practices still aligned with the epistemic practices that you put into your crosswalk? The answer is yes. Go ahead. Do these big ideas reflect your crosswalk? Do you see the objects when illuminated? Yes. How materials affect the light? Yes. How can we design a tool to communicate using light? Yes. So those are the three things I put in the crosswalk. So now they're here in the DUP. Let me look at the unit goal. Now, remember what we talked about in class. Goals are the big assessment ideas at the end of your unit, right? So your lesson level objectives are based on the steps of your epistemic practices. But your goal is the big idea that kids are supposed to learn by the end. So they're supposed to go through a number of those objectives in order to get to the big idea, right? So this unit will guide students to understanding the interaction between light and objects, incorporated common core literacy skills such as constructing explanations and arguments. Mathematical standards are integrated through data collection and analysis during investigation. Each lesson uses epistemic practices to scaffold student learning from simple observations to complex design solutions. That's fine. And then students will demonstrate their understanding of light properties by creating a functional communication tool that uses light. That's exactly what I had planned. Okay, so this is what's cool. Now it helps you design and outline your lessons. So what you want to do is to make sure that your lesson outline is still aligned with your crosswalk. So lesson objective, acceptable evidence, how do materials affect light? Being oh, it's perfect. Unit resources, okay. And then any useful websites that you might use. So the DUP is done. All you got to do is populate it. Now that this is done, I'm going to tell ChatGPT using the following DUP from the previous chat, populate the three lesson plans needed to complete DUP. So now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to look for the lesson plan. This is also in Google Classroom, but I'm also going to I'm going to put links to it in the announcement so it's easy to find when you look at this video. Okay, it's uploading. Bam. Look at God. See how that works? Now all you have to do is check it. Is it aligned with what you planned? Is it aligned with what your conversations are when you and your team were planning this crosswalk? So you're double checking for that, right? Is it the target vocabulary, the 5E model, formative, purpose, implementation? So here it says this is the type. So this is progress monitoring. So you have to check that, right? Um, Progress monitoring. What is it with the lesson plan? Let me see if I can find the lesson plan. Oh, here it is over here. Let's look at the lesson plan. So you have here with the assessments, here we go, entry level. formative, and summative. So it's very, very important that you double check because chat can make mistakes, but you can work with the mistakes. You don't have to stress out with planning all of this. Now you have something to work with as you populate your lessons, right? So the assessments are supposed to be um, entry level, progress monitoring, and summative. So here you have it. So far, that's the only thing that is a mistake in here, the types of assessments. So you go in, you correct that. And the vast majority of your time is now not spent trying to create things from the ether, but it's a nice foundation for you and your team to have a discussion around that. One last thing that I want to share with you is not that. Um, oh, here, guiding questions for the review. So I'm going to share this with you too. So when you're looking at your lesson plans, here are some guiding questions that can help you in your discussion about how you want to refine what the AI has developed and how you're going to ensure that if there's any mistakes in it, it's going to be aligned to best practices in science teaching and science planning. So you got your instructional strategies, you got your engagement and exploration, explanation and elaboration, evaluation, differentiation. That should, well, English language learners is fine. We like emerging bilinguals now, and some questions for your reflection. So I'm hoping what this helps, that this helps you and your groups um, plan a little more efficiently, um, brings your effective level down so you're not stressed out. It's the holidays. Like I said, I really want us to have a good time at the end of the day. Um, and with that said, I'm going to stop sharing. And that was hopefully helpful for you. So I'm going to make the announcement now, and then I'm going to upload this video. And let me know if you have any questions. I will see you Monday evening. We will be teaching. I'll give a little time for Q&As at the beginning of class like I usually do. And hopefully you're less confused, less stressed, and able to enjoy your weekend and not have to work so hard. Happy holidays.